We are not Sports Censor. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Debate Amongst Friends. I am the Professor John Gotti. My co-host over here is Doc Leesner, the podcasting beast, and we're ready to provide you with another fun edition of sports news, analysis, and the reads. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Doc, we are down to two teams in Major League Baseball. The World Series is about to begin. I mean, it was an emotional ride for me. I'm not gonna lie. My Yankees, but I mean, what were your thoughts about the playoffs up to this point?
I thought the playoffs have been great. It brought me back to my question. I think it was 2 weeks ago when I asked you, who would you rather the Yankees play? And you gave me a non-clickbaity response by saying it didn't matter, which in this case, it does matter. It matters because the Houston Astros they were coming in, they were kind of hot. And I don't even know, honestly.
They weren't kind of hot. They were hot. They were hot.
I don't even know. I didn't even know what happened because I really thought after game one, that the Yankees were going to come in. They were going to be like, you know what? We're the Yankees. Do you know who we are?
No.
We're the Yankees.
No.
You want the Paul Pierce? You can't handle the Paul Pierce.
I saw what you did there. No. And it was as I was bitching, which is why I gave a non-committal answer, because for, the game of baseball, it doesn't matter who comes out that series. For the ALCS, the best team is going to come out that series. Like, it didn't matter who it was. Like, yeah.
That's what you hope.
That's what I expected. Like, it's not even hope. Like, it's just expectations.
I don't know. I don't have those expectations. I would just hope that the best team would come out. But we've seen in other sports, I'll say, where, you think that the best team is going to be representing that side. But sometimes it's just not. Like, what the heck?
Oh, we can remember certain basketball clubs that crapped the bed in the finals.
I mean, basketball clubs, college football clubs. I mean, it's a lot of clubs that they get to that national level and they just can't get the glow.
Yeah, but I'm talking more about like sports where there's a series instead of just the, one game, sudden death type of games like football.
Yeah, I can understand that. It is kind of interesting to see teams that perform well during the season and then get to series, especially to get swept.
Yes.
Which is unacceptable.
For anyone.
Anyone to get swept.
To get swept.
And yes, but at least that didn't happen to the Yankees.
I'm talking to the Cardinals. Like, we won 2 games. We won 2 games. Like, the first game was, a punch in the mouth and, people were feeling themselves. Like, I was having a pretty rough Saturday. So seeing them win, put us, there's not much things, but that certainly put a smile on my face.
I can understand that.
But I knew it was going to be a long series. I knew they were not going to win 2 straight at home because Houston, the problem is with Houston, or the benefit with Houston is they have the better starting pitching between the two teams. And it was one of the things that I mentioned, for the playoff preview as well too. It's like they have one of the best. They're the best baseball team in MLB. Like, there's a reason why I said that, because it's a fact. They have hitting, they have pitching, they can field, they play excellent defense. Now, the game where CC got hurt and the Yankees rallied back. Well, no, it was before. Yeah, I believe it was that game. I want to say it was that game, but it might not have been that game.
Sure.
But the 2 games that we won, it was just emotional. Like, honestly, it was just real emotional. It wasn't like, oh, we have a chance. Like, no, and I want to say Yankees could have won, but like I said, like I was saying before, our pitching was our weak point. Our pitching was they legitimately have 4 aces on their squad.
Yeah.
4 aces. Yeah. And Garrett Cole is a freaking monster.
Agreed.
That's why they had him play the last game.
I get it. I mean, and again, you don't really think about the small, intricate details of a baseball lineup like we do other sports, especially for like somebody like myself. Like I don't watch baseball all year round, so yes. I can't spew different players, in different positions from the sport of baseball. But I know strategy, and when you have something like that in your arsenal and you're using it effectively, I mean, seems like a recipe for success.
Yes, and it was Game 5 that the Yankees won.
Right.
I mean, in it could have went anyway with Game 6. Like, despite how much I said that, the Astros were the best team in MLB, like, they earned that victory.
True.
Like, Jose Altuve with the walk-off, like, they earned that victory. You can't take anything away from the Yankees. We're still we have things to do. During the off season, we didn't address our weaknesses at the trade deadline, which we'll talk about for football in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And those type of things can have a long-term effect when it comes to winning games.
Agreed.
Especially in the playoffs. Like, you need to go into the playoffs with your best.
Mm-hmm.
When we faced off against Minnesota, our bats were better. And, it was only a 5-game series. But once the series become longer, that's when you really need to play that chess game. And you hear me say that all the time. Baseball is just like chess. You have to find that tactical advantage. But
absolutely,
I'm still proud of them. Of course, CC did announce his retirement a few days ago. For me, false legend in the Yankees, within the Yankees organization. I think he might be a first ballot Hall of Famer. We'll have to see.
Mm-hmm.
One of the best lefty pitchers of all time. If not within at least the top 5, despite and those Red Sox fans. Trying to you cannot, and you hear us say this all the time, you can't fire shots when your gun is on empty. And what I mean by that is you didn't even make it to the playoffs. And you're talking like, you're the one going to the World Series. Stop it. Relax.
Come on. I mean, that sounds like the NFC East in a nutshell.
That is the NFC East in a nutshell, actually. In fact, I think the AL East is pretty much the NFC East. It pretty much goes hand in hand.
It's so rough. But, I mean, anything else? I mean, you talked a lot about the Yankees. What are you looking forward to most for this World Series matchup?
I am the best teams. So I think the Nationals, they actually had quite a few days off, actually, because St. Louis Cardinals got destroyed and they looked horrible. And I think the Nationals are trying to ride that same wave of the WNBA champion, Washington Mystics, to their first World Series titles. Here's the thing.
Yeah, please.
This game may go 6. This series may go 6. And it's going to come down to the pitching. I mean, you keep hearing me say this all the time. Like,
yeah, of course.
It's going to come down to the pitching. Both sides have some really good bats. But it's going to come down to pitching. I know people don't like to hear that, but it's going to come down to the pitching.
Of course. Now, of course, I'm hoping that the Houston Astros are able to bring it home, and that carries over.
I saw what you did there.
To the hardwood, where my Houston Rockets can win it, similar to the Washington Mystics. So I'm hoping that it switches from Washington to Houston and then carry still over to Houston because you already know that the Redskins nor that other Washington team is not going to be winning any championships.
And for those that don't know, he's talking about the Wizards.
I wasn't going to say it, but
I was going to say it. I felt like I needed to say it.
I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to say their name. I'm just going to – that other Washington team.
No, because we know what's going to happen with them. No, we already know.
Yeah.
So, no.
But, I mean, it's going to be an interesting game. The game starts tonight at 8:08, which is a weird time. But, I mean, if that's the time they want to start, that's fine.
Yes.
But we're looking forward to another World Series, which I expect great pitching, great bats, and so much more tonight at 8:08.
Do you enjoy getting your hair cut but hate the amount of time it takes for you to sit in the chair, get your hair finished, and get out the door? Well, try out Mobile Barbers. My mobile barber, Rachel Frizzell, has his own website, dfwluxuryconcierge.com, where he will come to your place of employment or your home and offer you a haircut or a shave and a haircut. Of course, at a premium cost, but the luxury of being able to get your hair cut on your time outweighs the hours that you could potentially spend sitting in the barbershop. But once again, check out dfwconcierge.com or check out Shortcut, a mobile app where you can find a mobile barber near you.
And returning also tonight, the NBA, that's right, the hardwood action is back. 2 games tonight as the Pelicans face off against the champion Toronto Raptors, and the Battle of LA tonight as the Lakers go against the Clippers. We had a lot of anticipation tonight. I expect that people were really, really hyped for this opening day, as we thought we were going to see Zion Williamson take the court against the champs. They really built this one up. But Zion is out for 6 to 8 weeks with a meniscus. I don't know if it was a meniscus tear or, but yikes. So now we're just going to get the champs. Consolation prize?
So first of all, shame on the media for
the disrespect.
For a team winning their first championship.
Right.
That's just disrespectful no matter how you look at it. Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Zion Williamson is, blockbuster money. I get it. But we are acting like this is the second coming of LeBron James.
Yeah.
That's how they was marketing this whole thing. It's Zion. It's Zion.
Yeah. Zion Williamson.
Exactly. Like sitting there and just acting like the whole season is going to be about him. Like, you have a team that, defeated another team that was going to create a dynasty.
True.
But we ain't talking about that. Yes, they don't have the same players from last year, but I've never seen a team get so little attention for their first game after winning the NBA Finals in we're talking a very long time. Like, just think back to teams that won their first championships.
True. And just thinking about this, I think the only thing that I'm surprised didn't make news, and I don't know the time frame about this, but the only thing I did not hear about for the Raptors is a story of them accepting or declining a trip to the White House.
That wasn't going to happen.
That's the only thing that I haven't heard about. I mean, obviously they're in Toronto, so I don't know exactly
I think that's probably
how that works.
No.
Because usually, that dominates headlines.
No one cared about the Raptors.
True.
No one cared about the Raptors.
Especially after Kawhi left.
No one cared about the Raptors even when Kawhi was there.
No, they cared. The Raptors would. I think the Raptors would have been great.
Everyone in the media.
I don't believe that. No. The Kawhi watch really hurt.
True or false? Well, okay, Kawhi watch definitely was.
Yes.
The Raptors' undoing. We can all agree to that.
Yes.
But true or
really
false?
Killed them.
Not. Everyone had the Warriors defeating them in 5 games.
I think I had it in 6.
People had them winning in 5 games. Some people had them winning in the sweep.
Yeah, I would have never expected the Raptors to beat the Warriors. I mean, but then again, I didn't expect KD to go down either. I didn't expect Clay to go down. Nobody would have expected that.
I didn't read that the injury was going to happen because I never want people to get injured in any sport whatsoever because I'm not that callous. But I did say I did have the Raptors winning.
And I'm that callous, but I wouldn't also, I wouldn't have put the Warriors. I wouldn't have put them losing to the Raptors. I don't think I did. I think I might have said the Raptors are going to win in 6, but I don't believe that I truly believed it.
I think you said you had the Warriors winning, but your gut is telling you the Raptors are going to win.
That is it. That's exactly what I said. But I mean, ultimately, I also believe that the disrespect for the rest of the Pelicans, who I think are going to be really good.
We're acting like these are rejects from the Lakers. And this is where I have such a huge issue with the way that they covered the offseason. Because, and even, once again, this goes all the way back to draft night, in fact, too. Everything was revolving around the Lakers and Zion Williamson. And everything else was second bananas.
Yeah.
And now suddenly...
And Anthony Davis. Don't forget Anthony Davis.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, people kept saying that Anthony Davis is going to be MVP candidate.
Which I don't know.
People are saying LeBron James is going to be the MVP of the league. These are the things that we have been suffering through for the past few months over the summer.
Mm-hmm.
And now the first game is coming around and suddenly the storylines all change. We don't forget. We're like Patrick Farms. We don't forget.
Right.
We know exactly what you said. We will put you on blast on social media. We know who you are.
And we're actually going to leave the light on for you too.
No. It's going to be a freaking spotlight on you.
No, the thing about it is, and the one part that I'm not looking forward to with the other game, the Lakers and the Clippers, is that this game is going to be viewed almost like a championship game.
Western Conference Finals.
Yes.
Western Conference Finals. We acting like this is in freaking May.
The winner of this game is going to the finals.
Going to the finals.
Yes.
What? Are you serious?
Yes.
And I'm sitting here, and the media went insane when the Lakers kept beating up on the Warriors during the preseason.
I heard about that. Yeah.
And LeBron's going to be the MVP. They're going to be the top seed in the West and blah, blah, blah. And the Warriors are not going to make it to the playoffs for the preseason. Are you serious?
Yeah. Very serious.
Have our basketball minds digressed down this low to where we're taking the sample size of the preseason where people really don't play that hard and trying to make regular season predictions, championship choosing decisions off of the preseason? Doc, you know how much I feel so lowly about the preseason. It's not so much that I don't like to see the players play during the preseason and see, some of the younger guys and people within new uniforms and how they play, see how they click. But I don't sit there and look at the preseason as a sample size of what the regular season or even who's going to win the championship is going to be.
And honestly, in the preseason, I feel like teams are just running, practicing their sets. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
James Harden's out here practicing a freaking
one-footed 3-point shot.
Yeah, exactly.
And the media's eating that up.
Even though there were several people who tried the one-legged shot this preseason because it's preseason.
I'm so glad you mentioned the one-legged shot. So I'm getting tired of now suddenly everyone wants to offer their, in-depth analysis on these one-footed 3-point shots that's been going on for the longest of time for the past 30 years.
For real. I mean, the fact that
we're acting like this is the newest phenomenon in the NBA.
Newest since the crossover.
We're acting like this is the best thing since sliced bread. Oh my gosh, It's that one-footed 3-point shots. Who's going to start doing it? We've been doing it for the longest. This proof.
Yeah, I know. I don't get it. I really don't get it. But I mean, ultimately, whoever wins this game, I feel like that's going to be the media coverage. That team is going to win the championship, or at least go to the finals.
No. Let me tell you exactly what's going to be the coverage after this game. And I'm going to give you both scenarios on both sides. Let's start off with the Lakers. Oh my gosh, the Lakers are back. They're going to be the champions. They're going to go 74 games winning this season and all this other jazz, and LeBron James need to be MVP and blah, 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 blah. That's the Lakers.
Somebody's going to come out and say, yeah, they're going to go back to back. Yeah.
They're going to go back to back. Like, they're going to do all these things. They're going to sweep all the awards for the season and all these. Like, this is going to be just ridiculous. Mm-hmm. Now, let's do with the Clippers. Well, the Clippers did a pretty good job, but, let's just focus on the Lakers and see what else that they need to do. What players does LeBron James need to get over the hump that's the LA Clippers? Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong.
I mean, it's possibly wrong. I mean,
no,
it could be wrong.
We have proof. Don't.
I don't think they're going to do that.
We got
not
proof. We literally went through. We literally went through 4 years of news media literally talking about what players need to be added to a LeBron James team for him to win a championship.
But I don't think they're going to do that this week. It's only because you can't say anymore that he doesn't have anyone. You can't say that because right now they have.
You couldn't say that. You couldn't say that for certain years. You can say that for certain years. Like, come on, no. But those are the two storylines coming out of it. Like, no one's gonna give the Clippers credit. Like, the Clippers gonna be one of the top defenses in the league. They might be number one, if not number two.
Yeah, three of the top. Three of the top players. I'm trying to think of. Montrezl Harrell was pretty up there.
Montrezl Harrell. We got your pit bull who used to play for the Rockets that you still like, that you hope that you got back.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
You got PG and Kawhi. You got 4 people that can lock down all 5 positions because the center is really obsolete.
I mean, but honestly, if they do play, I believe they still have Zubac, but I actually really like Zubac a lot. So if they play him, I think he's a pretty good shot blocker, somebody that can come in. He's not going to score you a whole bunch of points, but I think defensively they might be able to make a nice little run if they still have Zubac. I don't even remember.
I'm checking for you. Don't worry.
I feel like he might have been involved in the trade, but I believe he should still be there.
Zubac is still there.
Okay, yeah. So if they got Zubac playing center, with those other 4 guys, I think they'll be good. Like he might have a career.
He might have a heck of a game.
He might have a good season because you think about it. I mean, you're gonna have Paul George and Kawhi Leonard driving the lane and taking jumpers, and all you have to do is grab rebounds.
But here's the craziest part, though, and this is the thing that no one's gonna admit: they have length, and they're gonna play defense. They're gonna shut you down.
And catch this, and the one thing we didn't even mention this, but the one thing that is probably flying over people's heads is that we didn't even mention Lou Williams.
And I was going to mention him before we started talking about the other things. Like, we still got Lou Williams, the defending 6th player of the year. Even if he doesn't win it, he's still there, and he can still come out there and just get buckets. Like, Kawhi doesn't need the ball at the end of the game. Paul George doesn't need the ball at the end of the game. They got Lou Williams to handle that. You got the utility knife that's Montrezl Harrell. You got the pit bull that's Patrick Beverley. Like, this is a squad. They got Maurice Harkless. They got JaMychal Green. Like, they got people. Your boy Patrick Patterson.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he's not my boy, but I understand what you're saying.
He used to play for the Rockets. So
I get it. So just looking really quickly. So not to disrespect
people.
Let's not disrespect the Lakers. Though.
No, but that is disrespectful for the Clippers.
But they had people last year, and this is where people are. You're setting them up for people to say, "Oh, Kawhi and Paul George joined a playoff team and all this other stuff." Now, don't give them that out because you're kind of setting them up for an alley-oop.
Really?
You know what I mean?
Really?
You know how people are. You're setting them up. Nice little alley-oop toss.
I get tired of people trying to use, well, this team was in the playoffs last year.
Okay, I'm telling you, you're setting them up.
What happened to the Cavaliers after they lost LeBron twice?
You're setting them up for the alley-oop.
Like, it's so asinine. I don't want to say the word stupid because we'll start doing the radio on the stupid thing, but like, it's so asinine that there's that is their base argument. And there's nothing else that they can say after that.
Well, let's take a quick look. I mean, let's take a step back. Let's look at the Lakers team. Of course, they got LeBron, they got AD, they brought in Dwight Howard, right? Mm-hmm. They got Rondo still, and Rondo is still serviceable.
Rondo can still do work. In fact, fun fact, Rondo and Avery Bradley are back together.
That's what I was about to say. So they picked up Avery Bradley, but I think people also are really sleeping on Kyle Kuzma, who can really thrive in this offense if given a chance, as I guess he would be a third option.
Here's the thing about Kuzma you're probably going to agree, but you might disagree right now. He might fall into the Kevin Love situation.
I don't know, because I don't think he can shoot the three as good as Kevin Love.
And I'm not talking about just like shooting the ball. I'm just talking about as far as the expectation. Like, he needs to come in there and now suddenly do all these other things. And if he doesn't do that, then, the media is going to start saying whatever about him. And then they're going to use the Kevin Love argument on him.
If they were smart, they probably would use Kuzma almost similar to a Ben Simmons, and kind of have him and LeBron and Rondo kind of mix up, bringing the ball up. And run different sets, because I mean they're going to have a lot of guys who can kind of work off the ball and run screens. They brought in Jared Dudley, you got Quinn Cook, you got Troy Daniels. They still got Kendavius Caldwell-Pope. So they have some players who can shoot, but ultimately, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see.
They got Danny Green, who I believe is their only 3-point shooter in the team. Maybe Quinn Cook.
Quinn Cook, yeah. I think Quinn Cook can shoot. And I think Jared Dudley probably can still knock down one or two.
That's not the same definition that we're trying to use, though.
Yeah, one or two. I don't think he can knock down a whole bunch. Maybe one or two. But the real question is going to be, can Frank Vogel lead this team to a championship?
Well, he accepted his position. And once LeBron James go into your town, everything's looked at with the huge microscope. And unfortunately, that microscope is even, stronger because it's in Los Angeles. And now, the Clippers, who are just down the corridor from them, has gotten way better.
Way better.
So everything, and I'm so glad you mentioned Frank Vogel, everything that's going to happen this season will be psychoanalyzed.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, big shout out to, Luke Walton, who, had to move to another part of LA to take over for the Kings. But
I'm more than happy with him doing that too.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad they quote unquote mutually parted ways.
He was like,
but I mean, I'm happy also, just to stay in basketball, but switch to a different subject. We had some extensions. Which is pretty awesome. Bradley Beal got an extension, a big extension.
And I'm up and down on that too. I'm so happy that he got his money, but I don't think he needs to stay in Washington.
You think they should have dealt him?
I think they're going to deal him soon.
Even after the extension, or would they trade John Wall?
I think they might. I think they'll get rid of John Wall first, and then they'll get rid of Bradley Beal like 3 years down the line. Similar to what happened with Russell Westbrook.
I don't know. That's an interesting one, but we'll digress.
You hear it now. You hear it now.
I'm not gonna doubt your reads because I know you've gotten them. But so speaking of the champs, they actually also agreed to a 4-year, $130 million max contract extension with Pascal Siakam, who also deserves it. Mm-hmm. I think this first game is really going to see how far he's come along. I mean, he had an opportunity to play with Kawhi, the claw. He had a chance to play with Kawhi. And hopefully he's able to kind of step up and kind of replace,
I believe so. The only thing that I would caveat to everyone else there is to give it time. It's not going to be day one.
Right.
I mean, if it is day one, then great. But like, let's not act like he's a bust. 15 games to the season. Let's not do
and
that.
I
know that's going. That's why I said it. Like, it's not going to be, within that first little bit of the season. Like, give it some time. Let's relax. Like a certain big dog once said, take a sip of your beer.
Not the big dog. The big dog.
Big
dog. But sticking on to the extensions, the Celtics actually extended Jaylen Brown. I know. That was always funny. Jaylen Brown, 4 years, $115 million. I can understand that one also.
Yes.
Even though he was on the trade block, definitely for Anthony Davis.
Definitely on the trade block. He was about to get dealt real fast.
Yeah, they were definitely dangling him around, but at least he got the extension, and I don't know. Now this last one kind of had me laughing a little bit because there was a video that was posted of him waving at his GM and that basically giving him the money sign like, hey, you better pay up or I'm leaving.
I know who you're talking about.
And that is Buddy Hield.
My Buddy Hield, who, I had a chance to watch him play during the Final Four. Unfortunately, he didn't show up to play.
We came, but he didn't show up.
Yes.
We were there, but $86 million, 4 years after. I guess it was at practice. He was like looking at Vlade like, you better start paying up or I'm out of here. He's like, it was kind of like one of those, did you see what I just did there? Did you see what I just did? Hey, listen, you already know you better pay up or I'm out of here. But
like, man, would you love to see me do this for another 4 years? Yeah, you should probably pay me before I leave.
Yeah, you should probably pay me before I leave.
But other contract extensions actually too. Domantas Sabonis, who people kept saying that he's going to put onto the trade block. Actually,
the trade block. He went from trade block to extension. It was so crazy.
It's the second person who was on the trade block and got an extension.
I was like, what is going on? But maybe that's how they kind of, smooth things over. Unless it's a sign and trade type of thing.
I think it might be the way that owners are trying to regain control from players.
That's crazy.
I think that's what it might be. And it just came to me too, because that was one of the things that NFL owners were in discussion about last week, during the week.
True.
Like,
what?
I think that might actually be it.
But you know what? That makes sense though, because you think about it, if the extension doesn't start or count until the following season, so technically he could still be traded and it'd be all good. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So, and I'm glad you mentioned this because I don't know if you were going to mention this, but DeJounte Murray.
Oh, of course I was. You mentioned. I really like him. Yeah, he's a great player. He's a great player. We're talking about someone who took the torch from Tony Parker and striving.
But hey, get this though. 4-year, $64 million, fully guaranteed contract.
Yep.
That's pretty awesome.
And you know what? That's pop. That's pop. That's pop.
I can understand that. But you see that number though, everybody else is getting 80 million, 115. That's 64 million fully guaranteed. It just makes sense.
So much. It makes you sign that dotted line a lot faster.
Yep.
Hey, money is in the bank.
You don't even have to worry about it.
Straight cash, homie.
He's got to come out here and play, and it's a relatively good deal because ultimately, if it doesn't work out, we're talking about what, 64 million, 4 years. I mean, that's less than 20. So I mean, it's the going rate for starting point guards. I feel like 20, 25, $30 million. I feel like. So I mean,
it's 16, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
He said up to 20. I'm like, bro.
I mean, yes. I was because I don't know. I don't know if there's, because it says 64 million, but we don't really know what
what basically helped out though, it's them investing on a point guard for the future. He's only 23 years old, still has quite the upside coming, ahead for them, and the Spurs has consistently made the playoffs, and these are the type of moves that they make to ensure them way to make it, post the regular season. I really like that move.
And I mean, hopefully we're not going to read too much into it, but I know that, the Spurs also have to sign back DeMar DeRozan with an extension. But I don't know.
That one might be, it might be. Pop is really big on him, but I mean.
Which I don't know why.
We will have to see. We would have to see.
We would. I wouldn't resign him. He would be a free agent. But I'm looking forward to NBA tonight. Hopefully they, we get what we're asking for and everything kind of works out. But, hopefully we'll have to see what the storylines.
I'm waiting with bated breath, sir.
We'll see what the storylines are tomorrow. We'll just wait and see.
And watch me be correct, too. That's going to be the worst part.
Of who they can sign immediately if they lose?
No. Not yet. I'm talking about the actual storyline that's going to happen.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, if people start talking about trades and stuff like that, I'm just going to turn the channel. I just can't.
Gotcha. Well, we'll see what happens. I mean, we'll have to wait and see tonight. Make sure you check out those games. The Raptors versus the Pelicans, Lakers, Clippers. I just hate the fact that those games be so late, but I mean, it is what it is. It is in LA.
Yep.
Yeah. But we'll be right back with some more Debate Amongst Friends after this quick break. You're listening to Debate Amongst Friends on Anchor FM. Anchor FM is a free and easy-to-use platform where you can record, edit, and post your show right from your phone or computer, and it will be automatically distributed to platforms such as Apple and Google Podcasts. As seasoned podcast personalities, we found Anchor FM to be user-friendly and resourceful, allowing us to create great shows and sound bites on the go. Last but not least, Anchor FM gives you an opportunity to monetize your podcast as they link you with potential sponsors, and you can potentially start making money by recording advertisements just like this. Kickstart your podcasting journey today with Anchor FM by visiting their website at www.anchor.fm, and we look forward to hearing your podcast. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. We are back. NFL Week 7 was full of surprises. We had some trades. We had some injuries. We had some solid football. Now, looking over the injuries, the week actually started off kind of rough. Good for me. Again, callous. Patrick Mahomes getting injured, although it didn't lead to any victories on my fantasy team as I went 0 for 3 this week.
It was a rough week for fantasy owners too.
A lot of bye weeks, a lot of injuries, a lot of everything. But
and a lot of just teams
injuries piled up. Big time facts. But you had made a call saying that Patrick Mahomes needed to get it together, or that the Chiefs needed to get it together,
yes, or
Patrick Mahomes is going to get hurt. And lo and behold, 2 days later, down goes Mahomes.
I keep mentioning how much I really hate Thursday night games.
Mm-hmm.
And it's for reasons like this. Like, Thursday night games should not be a thing because stuff like this always happens. Either a team just plays flat throughout the whole game, or a key player gets hurt against the team that's not even vying for a playoff position.
I mean, we can't say that because they could turn around and they can go ahead and win, 10 straight games or something crazy like that. I know you're looking at me, it seems, unrealistic and impossible, but if you believe
that Joe Flacco is going to lead this team to a playoff berth,
they might release him
in the AFC West.
They might release him and start some young kid who just comes out of nowhere and, balls out.
And we're already up to the midway point heading into week 8. I mean, they would have done that like 2 weeks ago.
No, they wouldn't have, because John Elway is kind of more of a, stick to his guns kind of thing.
So and that's why they're not going to make the playoffs.
I mean, he might not want to make the playoffs, but I mean, I'll be right there if they, if they bench Flacco. I'll be right there to make sure.
I would be so happy if that happens. I mean, I'm like, Doc got reads, but I don't see that happening.
Yeah. But, I mean, let's talk more about Mahomes. I mean, obviously the Chiefs still won the game because, as you said, the Broncos are who we thought they were. And, they're just not – I don't know what happened to the Broncos. They're losing –
They lost everyone.
I mean, but it seems like since Peyton Manning retired, it's just been like, yikes.
It started with Peyton Manning, and it just digressed down from there.
And – right now, their quarterback troubles are just, I mean, it's really, really bad. Really bad.
And you said that they're going to make the playoffs?
Well, I mean, I was just trying to give the Broncos fans a little bit of hope.
No! No!
I mean, you always want to give things hope.
I would love to see the Broncos make a miraculous comeback. But the way that they've been playing, the way that they've been appropriating themselves against oppositions, the way that their locker room is, it doesn't scream we're trying to make the playoffs.
Well, I mean, I'm not sure what it screams. I'm not sure what it screams.
I tell you, it doesn't scream. It doesn't scream ice cream. I'll tell you that right now.
I mean, it might. Maybe that's why they're losing, because they're not screaming anything about football. It's screaming about ice cream.
It screams wee as they slide down to try to make it to the Tua sweepstakes.
Not the Tua sweepstakes. Oh, come on. And we don't even know if Tua's going to be good. He just had surgery on his ankle.
He just had surgery, yeah.
Oh, my goodness. So, Mahomes is down 4 to 6 weeks. You called it.
I didn't want to be right about that, by the way.
Hey.
I really didn't.
You shouldn't have said it then. That means there's a Chiefs fan out there that's just like really, really mad at you for even putting it out there. Well, like, really mad.
If you want to get at me,
you
can follow my social media at Professor Jonathan Gotti on Twitter and on Instagram, and let me know how you really feel.
Well, anywho, don't at me because I didn't say it. This guy said
it. Or you can reach out to Dr. Leisner at TLW on Twitter and Instagram as well.
Just make sure that you
because we're like the street prophets, because we want the smoke. We want the smoke.
But just remember that he said it, I didn't.
But he also agreed.
I didn't actually. I actually said the complete opposite. I was like, I don't think he's gonna get hurt. Yeah, I actually remember saying I don't think he's gonna get hurt. I think he'll be fine. But anyway, Matt Moore is gonna get the start. I mean, obviously capable backup. The one thing I didn't like is that it's put us right back in the square thicket of Cap Watch.
I think we need to just get rid of Cap Watch.
I think
a few weeks ago when we talked about the blacklist is real, I think we just need to put it to bed. I think it's time to put it to bed. He's not coming back. They're not going to sign him.
Well,
plus, I think he just got the settlement from the league too. Like, he's not coming back.
Right. And I think ultimately, it's excuse me, it's one of those things also where I think it might have popped up because, we had the XFL draft last week, right after we got off the show, we noticed that the XFL draft was on. And, a lot of people were saying, wow, I'm surprised, Kaepernick wasn't drafted. But, Trent Richardson, who can run behind the Dallas Cowboys offensive line, wasn't drafted either. You said what?
He never put his name in the hat for the XFL.
I mean, but people don't care about those facts. I didn't know why you brought that fact up. I mean, the fact that he wasn't drafted was more important than the fact that his name wasn't in the hat. But that's all I'm saying. Neither Trent Richardson wasn't drafted either, and he could run behind that Dallas Cowboys offensive line if he really wanted to. But that's neither here nor there.
I saw what you did there.
But I mean, hopefully the Chiefs can, keep up the winning ways without Mahomes. I'm sure Matt Moore, who's a capable backup, can get it done. But, I mean, that's just the first injury on our list here. Let's go down really quickly here and see how these players are going to be missed from their team, in particular, my fantasy team, and Matt Ryan, who was my starting quarterback, going down.
That hurt. That
really hurt my feelings, especially the fact that I could have had Jacoby Brissett starting, but I started Matt Ryan over a tough Rams defense, saying to myself, "Oh, Julio can beat the Rams. Julio can do it."
No, you should have asked. I'm like, no.
I mean, listen. I said, listen. Jameis did it.
No, AFC South game. Go with that quarterback.
Listen, Jameis did it. I mean, why can't Matt Ryan do it?
I'm not going to answer that question. I'm going to leave that one be. I'm going to let you hold on to that one.
Listen, Jameis can do it.
I'm going to let you hold on to that one right there, brother.
But it didn't work out, so whatever. So then you have Adam Thielen, who hurt his hamstring.
Yeah, during the touchdown catch.
Yes, which, hamstrings are kind of touchy, day to day kind of thing. But he
wants to play on Thursday though, so I mean,
I'm not touching him.
You already know you know how I feel about Thursday night games, especially if you're coming back from an injury. I mean,
and a hamstring, it just doesn't look good.
Yeah.
But speaking of another hamstring, you got Will Fuller, who's also going to be, limited due to a hamstring. But I had Will Fuller, picked him up. I'm gonna have to drop him again. He was on that waiver wire for a long time, man.
I don't know why.
I don't know why either, but I sure was there to capitalize and pick him up.
Yeah, I would leave him there, at least until the first game starts.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I gotta see what I got. Let's see what I got. But also, Kerryon Johnson from the Lions hurt his knee as well as they lost to the Vikings. And lastly, one of my favorite running backs, Matt Breida from the 49ers, is going to be out with a concussion. Rough game, 9-0. Yep. I will say shout out to the Redskins for actually, showing up to play.
Really?
At least making it.
Do you really want me to say it for the people out there?
But at least they didn't. They gave an effort, and they didn't get blown out by a team who's really playing well.
They had the ultimate 12th man, because we talk about that with Seattle all the time. They had the ultimate 12th man, and that's Mother Nature.
I mean, but both teams had that.
Exactly. Because they didn't have that, and the weather was fair. Please.
Did you just say please? Come on.
Please.
Come on.
Plus.
But just some other notable names. During the game, I did see Josh Jacobs from the Raiders go down on the first drive, which was a great game. He finished with 21 carries for 124 yards. A bright spot for the Raiders.
Yes.
Who I don't even know what is going on with them. Yeah, really, I don't even know. I know he was complaining about trades, which we'll get into next. But, I mean, listen, John Gruden probably looked at the tape and
he's
said,
like,
you know what?
I just need more Gruden grinders.
Exactly. I need more Spider 2 wild bananas and I need that. I need those Spider 2 wild bananas and everything, So I don't know. But I mean, I guess we should look into those trades.
And also, Leighton Vander Esch also suffered a neck injury during the Cowboys game as well.
Yeah, and that Cowboys defense is playing so well against the Eagles. I'm sure the Cowboy fans are out there just
strutting like peacocks.
Yeah,
strutting like peacocks. Seriously.
Listen. I don't
a win is a win. You get 2 claps for that. But that Eagles team played like trash.
Agreed.
Both sides.
I was happy. I was happy they did.
It was more from the Eagles than the Cowboys.
I agreed. And
stop.
Yeah, but I give credit to the Cowboys defense.
I give them credit, but let's not act like the past 3 weeks didn't happen.
No, it definitely happened. It definitely happened. They lost to the Jets without question. Hello. But
we're gonna win Super Bowl. You just lost to the Jets. You gave them their first win. There's no going away from that. If this was college football, you would not be eligible for the college national championships at all.
Yeah. Maybe bowl eligible, but not national championship eligible. You're right.
In some cases, not even bowl eligible. No, come on, relax.
Let's not shy away because we done got Jay Riddy's his excitement up. I mean, I hate to bring it back down, but
we're gonna crash that down. It's gonna hit a blimp and like crash to the stadium. Like it's gonna be that bad.
Wow. So the Oakland Raiders traded one of their recent Gruden grinders, Garyon Conley, cornerback, for a pick with the Houston Texans, which for the Texans, of course, the rich get richer.
Richer, yep.
But, I'm wondering, I mean, first and foremost, outside of Josh Jacobs, the only person that really, really even showed up to play in this game was their tight end, Walla. I mean, I have one there, or I have one on my fantasy team as well. He's like the only person who played, and actually he got an extension. I know we were talking about extensions earlier. Mm-hmm. He got an extension with the Raiders. I feel like it was like right after the game, or it was like, I don't know if it was immediately after, but I was sitting there and all of a sudden it was like after his big performance, the Raiders, they must have just not even let him like change. He must have like still had his shoulder pads on or something, because it was like right after the game. They were like, hey, just come to my office. Like, don't even go to the bus. Don't go to, let's just, just come over here. You know what I mean? We're going to extend you right now. But they did go ahead and make that trade. And there were some other trades. One that I'm sure shocked some people, the Patriots traded for Mohamed Sanu, which is pretty huge.
It is pretty huge. I'm not shocked by it because it's Belichick.
Yeah.
I'm more shocked that the Falcons only wanted a second-round pick for him.
I'm not shocked by that. And the only reason I'm not shocked by that is because they have Calvin Ridley.
Well, and I'm only saying this because do you really think Mohamed Sanu was worth just a second-round draft pick? I don't think he was worth a second, maybe a third. I mean, he's up there in years. I mean, he's a Rutgers product. I mean, I get it.
Yeah. I don't think that the Patriots minded giving up a second, because a second for them is like a third.
Yeah.
So they didn't mind. They just wanted to make sure they got the deal done. From what I heard, the Patriots were trying to actually get OJ Howard from the Bucks, which, I mean, I was kind of neutral about. I could care, but I don't care because he hasn't really done anything this year anyway. But, I mean, I get it. And
the Patriots actually tried to get Mohamed Sanu for a few years, actually.
Which I can understand because he would fit. And that was also why I understood why they signed, Antonio Brown, because I expected, Josh Gordon not to finish the season typically for some type of drug related, he can't stay off the weed.
No, don't.
He can't. I mean, that's just what he always does this. I know,
but don't sit there and act like one of those, blind followers of the Stephen A. Smith Church.
I mean, it's not the Stephen A. Smith Church; it's facts. I mean, he just can't stay up.
And I get it, but we don't need to say it like that.
Staying off the weed?
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah.
He couldn't quit. He could not quit the marijuana.
Thank you.
He could not. He just kept going to see Mr. Nice Guy.
And I only tell you this because, I literally was on Instagram today and I saw some piss address just like Stephen A. Smith is sitting there saying the stupid line, and I'm just like, this is where we are now in sports.
I get it. But I feel that's why the Patriots picked up Antonio Brown initially, because they expected him not to be there. I think you lose Gronk, and then also Edelman, I feel like, gets hurt very often as well. But I think they lost Dorsett also, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So in this particular situation, you go ahead and you trade for Sanu, who is a capable wide receiver, somebody that can really, really, catch passes. I don't know why the Falcons weren't using them effectively, but it's whatever, right?
I got nothing about the Falcons right now. They've been playing like, donkey turd throughout the whole season.
Yeah. So last week, I think there were some trades, right?
Yes.
Right at the end of last week, it kind of started with the Rams and the Browns trading. I think the Rams landed an offensive lineman from the Browns. It kind of started there. And then the Rams went to deal Marcus Peters to the Ravens, which they got Kenny Young back in a 2020 fifth-round pick.
Yep.
And we were sitting there like, the Rams did what? They traded Marcus Peters? That's crazy. And then it felt like 20 minutes later, they traded for
Jalen Ramsey.
Jalen freaking Ramsey.
And then it's like, aha.
I knew they was up to something.
There was a reason behind that, but he wanted to play for a contender.
I don't blame him.
And I don't blame him at all. Marcus Peters has issues with, on-field antics. Let us not forget about. Let us not forget about the throwing the flag into the crowd.
I thought he behaved himself since he's been on the Rams. The Chiefs, Marcus Peters.
No, and I was gonna get to my point though. Like, he's behaved when he was with the Rams, but the problem was he just haven't been playing that well. Not that well.
Yeah. For corners, it's tough for corners because
it is tough for
the receiver. Yeah, you can't really play as good as you can't play as strong as you used to. It's like too many penalties geared towards offensive players. So
absolutely,
it's kind of tough. It's kind of tough for corners. I feel for them.
They were just talking about, we were speaking about the cornerback Conley, like he was being burnt by Aaron Rodgers on Sunday.
And I'm sure that's probably why he got dealt. But and the Houston Texans pretty much just reaped for that benefit. But it wasn't just him. There were some plays that were just busted. The offensive play calling for the Packers this weekend was awesome. I felt like the Raiders were in the game. It's just every time they scored, it was just some type of offensive penalty that brought them back. So, but I think the last two trades that came up was the 49ers trading for Emmanuel Sanders, which, would have been dangerous. If he would have went to New England, I would have been like, okay, that's just too much.
Like, at that point, like, people were already saying that for the Patriots at the beginning of the season. Like, yeah, I'm just done with football right now. If they would have landed Emmanuel Sanders along with Mohamed Sanu, people would be saying that right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I think the last trade so far, and of course the deadline, just so people know, is Tuesday, October 29th at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which I'm sure there's going to be plenty of more moves, including potentially Joe Flacco. I'll call out those reads right now as I can see, him being dealt or released before the deadline, especially if he plays bad this week. But the Detroit Lions have traded their starting safety, Quandre Diggs, to the Seahawks, which is crazy because the Seahawks just continue to get better. And it's so unbelievable.
I don't know why people are sleeping on him.
And speaking of Marcus Peters, that pick six that he had was just beautiful. So
it was
I don't really know.
Russell Wilson's first pick of the season, in fact.
Yeah. But I guess some people to look out for. Will the Bengals keep the Red Rocket? Will they keep AJ Green? You know what I mean? There's some names to think of. What's going on in Tampa? Is Cam on the move in Carolina? There's a few players that's out there that, people are talking about. So we got to wait and see what happens.
We're going to have to wait and see what happens.
But I think that's all I have for NFL, and that's all we have. So we'll be right back with our 2-minute drill. every week at the end of our show, we like to do what's called a 2-minute drill, where we go over topics that we weren't going to cover during the show. My first one here is Sam Darnold, after having a terrible game, was on the sideline after his third turnover and said, and I quote, "I'm seeing ghosts." I thought it was hilarious, and apparently it went viral. Over to you, Prof.
New York Yankees starting pitcher CC Sabathia announced his retirement from Major League Baseball. In a tweet on Monday, CC Sabathia was 39 years old. He left during Game 5 of the ALCS game where they lost to the Houston Astros. Back to you, Doc.
Cleveland Browns running back Kareem Hunt returned from suspension this past week, or weekend, I should say. He actually is rejoining the team to begin practice. He is not eligible to return to game action, though, until week 10. Over to you, Prof.
Outside Staples Center in Star Plaza, Lisa Leslie will be enshrined forever as she'll become the first female athlete to receive a statue outside of the legendary sports arena. Back to you, Doc.
And an awesome show of appreciation. Raptors fans, if you're at the game tonight for Game 1, Raptors are giving out replica championship rings to fans on opening night. What a show. What a great gesture by the Raptors organization. And back to you, Prof.
And finally, there's rumors going around saying that the Lakers are giving a workout to free agent J.R. Smith to join their squad. Doc?
Excellent. That is our show for today. Be sure to join us again next week as we come back with all the reads, the news, and everything you're looking for.
Oh, thank you.